SMBs are looking for a platform environment that is easy to use, scalable, that's cost effective, that allows them to manage their business and the deployment of the smartphones and mobile environment, manage that in a very easy way. And what's important, of course, about that is that, again, it needs to be scalable and it needs to be secure. If you think about this from an SMB perspective, again, simplicity, ease of use, and extendability, if you will, are many common elements that they also find in other parts of their business, what they're trying to accomplish. Let's face it, as an SMB, they don't have, and in general, they don't have a considerable amount of time to have to be able to manage all of these deployments. We provide them with the tools and capabilities that really simplifies that whole process. Certainly from my perspective, what we see, of course, are from an application development perspective and deployment perspective, you're always going to see those who are willing to take a first step. You can call them early adopters, whatever you may want to call them. And we certainly see that from an SMB perspective. And I can tell you, and sitting here, I'm so encouraged by what I see from within the SMB space. I don't think it's a cultural change that needs to happen. I think what SMBs need to see is they need to see tangible examples, tangible results, something that they can grab onto that say, hey, you know what, that's actually relevant to my business. So is it a CRM application, as an example, that's relevant to my business? Is it a time and billing application that's relevant to my business? Is it a supply chain application that's relevant to my business? The more that SMBs see their peers or peer companies deploying those applications, the more apt and interested they are going to be able to extend their own application. Well, I think if we kind of encapsulate again what in general an SMB is trying to accomplish, aside from running a successful business, certainly what they're trying to accomplish again is lowering of their overall costs. Again, ease of use in terms of how they manage a mobile environment, and then again that scalability, because hopefully their business is growing. And then again, I'll add into that most certainly, and I'm seeing more and more of this in Asia Pacific, again, the importance wrapped around security of their data, security of the content in the back end. Now from an application perspective, if you take that from those examples of what they're trying to accomplish, more and more what we're seeing, of course, are the extension of CRM applications. I'm not talking about enterprise-grade CRM applications. I'm talking about CRM applications that are targeted specifically at a small business. The great thing, of course, if you take that even further, is that what we're seeing more and more is an interest in supply chain. So getting those SMBs linked in a much greater fashion to their customers and to their suppliers. And what we find, of course, with mobility is that it's much easier for them to be able to manage that communication, be it from voice, be it from SMS, be it from email, or be it from an application extension that brings them closer into that supply chain environment. Even further from that, of course, we're seeing more of sort of time and billing type applications as well that really help simplify the process that the SMB, that small business, is involved with their customers, so that when they do fulfill on an order, when they do fulfill on an obligation or service, what have you, they have the ability to turn around very quickly and turn that into revenue for their company. So we're seeing that more and more of that type of application within the small business segments. Very, very exciting. So from an Asia Pacific perspective, within the SMB segment, what we're seeing certainly more and more is that with the growth of wireless data and the growth of the smartphone segment, more and more SMBs are saying, hey, you know what, the smartphone in and of itself is for me, partly because of all the feature functionality and access to various applications, but then the platform environment, the one umbrella, if you will, is also for me. And what does that mean? Of course, that means that why is it for me? That means that I have the ability to extend out my back end. I have the ability to now perhaps access my email in a mobile environment. So from a trend perspective, certainly what we do see is that first step that says wireless data is for me. I want to extend out my email. So that's the logical. I want to extend out my email environment and be able to provide a tool into the hands of my employees or my partners or customers to some degree. And then what we see, which is really always encouraging from our perspective, is that once an end user and a company have a flavor for the benefit of the email environment in the palm of their hand, they then say, guess what? What more can I do with this platform environment? I actually want to be able to extend out some of my applications because I've already seen and realized the benefit of pushing out email into the hands of my employee. Okay? And then that's where the trends are coming in as well around what more can I do? And the great news from our perspective relative to SMB is that they are looking internally to their own companies to determine what kind of applications they can push out, and they're also looking for partners or looking for small systems integrators to be able to assist them with providing some of those solutions back into their business. It sounds simplified, but it's a really interesting trend, and that is wireless data is the trend, jumping into that environment and then taking it one step at a time